All right, Johnny Eats Cheap, and I'm going to try something flying by the seat of my pants. One of those things that I said, I think this should work. Never made it. I haven't seen a recipe for it. So I'm going to try it. Air fryer lasagna with homemade lasagna noodles. I know, and homemade sauce. Now, I'm only doing that because the fresh pasta I would think would cook better in an air fryer. I don't know how well dry noodles would do. I suppose if you cooked noodles, you could do that, but I'm going to try it this way. So I'm going to make my fresh pasta, which is really, really simple. I have half a cup of flour, half a cup of semolina flour. That's the yellow flour. Get it at an Italian grocery store. I'm sure you can get it at most grocery stores.
It's really cheap at the Italian grocery store.
Yeah, it is, and it really makes a difference in pasta. To that, I add 2 eggs. I add, a generous pinch of salt and a little drizzle of olive oil into the mixer.
Was that like a teaspoon maybe?
Yeah, maybe a teaspoon, not much. And I'm just gonna put this in the KitchenAid with the dough hook for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's all blended. Low speed, just let it go. It'll do its own thing. We'll check it here in a few minutes while I clean up. So that's pretty well blended, mixed up, but it looks a little soupy, not quite doughy. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of flour. This is just regular flour, not the semolina. I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or 2. And then we'll mix that in. I'm gonna go just a little bit more in, maybe a teaspoon of flour.
Pasta's not as scientific as like bread.
No, and you know what? And then if all of a sudden I say, oh, it's a little too dry, you just add a drizzle of olive oil. That's the good thing about it. That's getting about the consistency we want, in my, untrained homemade pasta making opinion. All right, I'm thinking we're done. Got it about the right consistency I want. Not too sticky. So I'm gonna pull the pasta dough out. There you can see it. A little bit more there. And I'm just gonna wrap this up, and we need to let it rest for about 30 minutes.
At room temperature, right?
Yeah, just room temperature is good. All right, so I browned half a pound of hot Italian sausage, Graziano's. That's great for lasagna. And I put a large can of whole tomatoes, whole peeled tomatoes. There we got the heat turned up on these. I'm gonna break them up a little bit. We're gonna let them cook for a little bit. Just, probably 10 minutes covered. Let them break down a little. Then we'll make our sauce. All right, tomatoes have been going about 10 to 15 minutes. Good simmer going on. I kind of mashed them up a little bit. We like a little bit of chunk in our lasagna. And of course, you need to add to tomatoes, you need to add some salt. So I'm gonna do a good, a couple of teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna add some black pepper. Fresh ground, of course. I'm gonna add some garlic, minced garlic. I just got the giant thing from Sam's. We'll do a tablespoon. I'm gonna add some, we need some more Graziano's Italian seasoning. This is, the basil, the red pepper, the oregano, all the good seasonings. And we'll link this sauce because this is kind of the world's best tomato sauce or pasta sauce. I did a video on this. Very simple, very quick. I'm adding 4 tablespoons of butter to this now. And this is a way that you don't have to, simmer it all day. It's really good in about 20 minutes. So we'll link the video here. And that's pretty much it. We may add a little salt to taste, but now I'm gonna just let this simmer with all that stuff in it for about 15 minutes. Then our pasta dough should be about ready. All right, so sauce and all the seasonings I added been simmering about 10 minutes. I'm just gonna taste it. Make sure we're all right. I think we'll be good. Dandy. Now we add in that Italian sausage. That's about a little less than half a pound probably. We like it a little chunky, not too ground up, but We'll just mix that in, and that'll be ready to go. All right, the homemade pasta has rested. I got it here, just a little bit of flour. I'm only gonna use about half of it. We're not gonna need that much for the noodles. And we got something planned for a future recipe with Johnny's Cheap with the rest of that. So I'm just gonna cut this much off, get that in the fridge. That's good for a couple of days in the fridge. Now, we just need to get this flattened out a little bit. You know, I'm gonna cut it into littler pieces, like that. And this, I mean, the KitchenAid pasta attachment is worth the price of admission. There's also homemade ones you can do. Certainly, I did it the first few times I tried it, just rolling it out with a rolling pin. But this thing is awesome. I love it. So
this isn't the KitchenAid brand one.
No, this is a knockoff. This is, I don't know, something hands, I don't even know what it is. Oh, warning, hands pinching. Yeah, it'll pinch your hands if you're not careful. But so we're just gonna run this through a few times, and we're just gonna get it down pretty thin to noodle size. If it needs flour, just throw it in the flour.
I think I got this on eBay, which is great for kitchen stuff. Because
yeah, it really is.
They'll put out a new model of something, and then they'll have brand new old ones that have, you know, are still good.
For a good price. That's how we got our sous vide. Yeah.
So always check out eBay.
And this is the kind of time-consuming part, I guess. Just don't get your fingers in there. All right, let's build some air fryer lasagna. Now, first thing I want to say, when I thought of this, I said to Mrs. Cheap, we have everything. We have everything. Oh, we don't have ricotta. And I don't want to go to the store. If we have cottage cheese, I'll just use that because, you know, that's the way my mom made it. We don't have cottage cheese. And I said, wait a minute, we have milk. I've made ricotta before. We'll link the video. Ricotta is whole milk, a little lemon juice, a little salt, a little thyme, 20 minutes of thyme, and you got ricotta. Look at that. Homemade ricotta out of stuff I had. You can use vinegar instead of lemon juice. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So our sauce is done. This is the, you know, tomato sauce, chunky, with Italian sausage. Boy, that smells good. So we just put a layer in the bottom. Mrs. Cheap has to help me build this because I'm not the lasagna builder. We're gonna build this the same way she does it.
And when I make it, I make like 10 lasagnas.
Yeah, you do. And I'm, boy, this is gonna be tough. Because we usually use, you know, lasagna noodles, and we never boil them beforehand because the sauce is juicy enough that it cooks the noodles. You can buy the pre-made noodles.
Don't waste your money on the ones that are pre-cooked because it's...
Well, you can do that with this, especially with this, because this might not cook as well. But, and look at that, I can just stretch that out a little bit, and there we go, first layer.
Okay, now ricotta.
Now we do ricotta, and this is kind of tough. You kind of got to do chunks. It doesn't spread very easily. Mrs. Cheek sometimes puts it in a bag and pipes it on, but this is fresh, homemade ricotta.
And you could easily do all this with like a can of sauce and, you know, pre-made noodles and, you know, ricotta or cottage cheese. I mean, you could put it together pretty quickly.
I probably should have gotten some noodle over there, shouldn't I? I think I'm going to do that. I got this little stumpy piece here. I'm going to put over there.
Stumpy. We'll call it stumpy.
See this guy right here? Because it'll all meld together.
Yep.
All right. So there's that. Next is more sauce. Is that right? And then mozzarella? Or do I just do what I want?
Do what you want, hon.
Okay. I'm going to do a little more sauce and then the mozzarella on top of it. This smells so good. Very Italiano. I'm going to air fry this at 370. We're going to cover it to start with. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of Parmesan on there.
Yes, you're being very homemade, but this could easily be done with the just really pantry staples.
Oh yeah. And it could be done in the oven as well.
Oh yeah.
So I got my pizza blend shredded mozzarella. Do a layer of that. You don't want too much because you got a lot of cheese coming up here. Right?
Cheesy, you want it cheesy.
Okay, so now we'll do another layer of the noodles. Homemade noodles. Stretch them out if you need a little bit. Just enough for this guy over here. And then gonna be all right. Are we all right with 2 layers of noodles, or do we need another one?
No, 2's good.
Because we can make another one.
I usually do about 2. It depends on how deep your pan is, and
Yeah. I think we can do another one, but we'll see. All right, so on that, more ricotta. Homemade, Johnny's cheap homemade ricotta.
you're so proud of your ricotta.
We may have to do just a little bit more pasta, I'm thinking. Because I want this to be a good, thick lasagna.
Yeah, because you want a top layer of pasta.
Yeah.
Then cheese on top of that.
But that's okay,
Sauce
that's good,
cheese.
because we have plenty more fresh pasta. We'll just roll it out. Do we need another layer of ricotta, or is this it?
That's it.
Okay.
So load her up.
All right, I'll load her up.
And if you prefer cottage cheese, I just like the consistency of
Oh,
ricotta.
I really love ricotta. And this is homemade. Did I mention that?
You're going a little overboard on your homemade on this one, hun.
Oh, I thought you said we're going to say on the ricotta. I was going to say, you said load it up. So I'm loading up. We got no more ricotta.
I mean, homemade sauce, homemade pasta, homemade ricotta.
And you know what? I'm going to mix it up a little. I'm going to put the cheese on top of the ricotta. Layer of cheese, and then the sauce. Oh yeah, we can get another layer. This is deep.
Yeah, you gotta save sauce for the top.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Good here.
That's the one thing I make is lasagna.
I know, you're a pro. A little more Parmesan, just, you know, because Mama didn't do it that way and I want it that way. All right, we rolled out just a little bit more, as you can see. And we'll just do a top layer here. And here. And then stretch it out here. A little bit there. That's good enough. That's a good thing. You stretch it out. Stretch it out. So now we want to do a little bit more sauce and then cheese, right?
Yes.
We got just a little bit of sauce left. Get it all on there. And do you think, now we're air frying. We're gonna cover this with foil. Should we go ahead and put the top mozzarella on?
Yes.
Okay. Because it won't brown, right? It'll
Right.
just melt.
It'll just melt.
And then we'll take it off at the end to let it brown a little bit.
Yep, you want all that cheesy goodness on there.
All right. Is that enough, or shall I break open another bag?
More cheese.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, here's the thing. We got plenty more cheese. I'm using the pizza blend from Fairway. Love this stuff. So the top, we're really going to load it up with cheese. All the way to the edge. A little bit more. 370 covered with foil, and we're playing by ear. We don't know. So we'll update you as we go. 40 minutes at 370 covered. And this, by the way, this baking dish just barely fits in our air fryer. It's 8 by 8. So do whatever size fits in your fryer. I'm gonna uncover.
Oh, yeah.
That looks
It's
pretty
all
good.
bubbly all around, yeah.
Bubbly and greasy. Sausage grease, yeah. So we're gonna go back in at 370. I'll do, like 5 minutes. It doesn't take long to brown. So we'll do that, and then we have to let it rest. That's the tough part. So back in, uncovered, for 5 minutes. I guess that looks okay. That's your air fryer lasagna, 370, 40 minutes covered, 5 minutes uncovered. Now the bad part with lasagna, you know, you gotta let it rest 5 to 10 minutes. So now we wait. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cheap. All right, so we're cooled off about 10 minutes. Air fryer lasagna with the homemade noodles. I'm just, oh, it's not sticking on the outside at all anyway. I'm going around.
Pretty much homemade everything.
Yeah, really. Boy, this is, I don't know how to cut it. I'll go down the middle. Hopefully the spatula will do it. Yeah, homemade noodles, homemade sauce.
Lasagna is my go-to when somebody has a baby or, you know, you want to bring food to somebody.
Yeah.
It's a good comfort.
It really is, and it freezes well. Wow, this is going to be tough.
The first piece is
the first piece is always impossible. But here we go. Oh, okay. Well, that didn't do too bad. And you can see how it stacks up there in the middle. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that first piece is just really tough. It's going to be really hot. I'll take the ugly piece. With the homemade ricotta, just because we didn't have it, and really easy to make. Homemade noodles, as I said, you could use, you know, cook some noodles, or Mrs. Cheap usually makes her version in the oven, not cooking regular lasagna noodles, and it's great because the sauce has enough juice. This, I don't know if it would work in an air fryer or not. So you could use the pre-cooked noodles, which are available. And that is a winner. All right, air fryer lasagna. That tastes great. See if I can get a noodle in here. It's kind of tough. Lots of cheese, but I guess there's some noodle.
Together.
There's some noodle. You see some noodle in there. And it's cooked. It's done. That's how to do it in the air fryer in 45 minutes plus, okay, 50 minutes because you got to let it rest. That's a hit. Air fryer lasagna with John Eats Cheap, and it is cheap because so much of it is homemade. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You got anything you want us to try or maybe convert from regular oven to air fryer, let us know. We love doing this. Thanks for watching.